A mason jar is a type of glass jar used for canning, but its simple, classic design and versatility have made it a popular item for various DIY projects. Here's an explanation of 3 creative ways to repurpose mason jars. 1. Mason Jar Terrarium. A mason jar terrarium is a small, self-contained ecosystem that mimics a miniature garden. It's an excellent way to bring a bit of nature indoors, especially for those with limited space. To create one, you first need a layer of gravel at the bottom. This is crucial for drainage, preventing the roots of your plants from sitting in water and rotting. On top of the gravel, you add a layer of potting soil. The plants you choose are key. They should be small and able to thrive in a humid environment. Succulents, ferns, and mosses are ideal because they require minimal care once established. The enclosed nature of the jar traps moisture, creating a self-sufficient, low-maintenance environment. You can personalize your terrarium by adding decorative elements like small figurines, polished stones, or colored sand to create a unique scene. 2. Mason Jar Fairy or Firefly Light. This project transforms a simple mason jar into a charming and atmospheric light source. The most common method involves placing a string of battery-operated LED fairy lights inside the jar. These tiny lights emit a soft, warm glow that creates a magical, enchanting effect. The battery pack is typically small enough to be hidden within the jar or tucked away. For a firefly effect, you can use glow-in-the-dark paint. By dabbing or streaking the paint on the inside of the jar will absorb light during the day and emit a soft glow in the dark, mimicking the flickering of fireflies. This type of light is perfect for setting a cozy mood in a bedroom, illuminating a patio for an evening gathering, or serving as a decorative centerpiece. 3. Mason Jar Solar Light. A mason jar. Solar light is an eco-friendly and practical way to create outdoor lighting. The core of this project is repurposing a solar-powered garden path light. These lights typically have a small solar cell on top that charges a battery during the day and an LED bulb that turns on automatically at dusk. By disassembling the garden light, you can attach the solar cell and the LED bulb to the inside of the mason jar's lid. The jar acts as a protective housing and a lens, diffusing the light from the LED. During the day, you simply place the jar in a sunny spot to allow the solar cell to charge the battery. When night falls, the sensor in the solar light unit will activate the LED, turning the mason jar into a soft, glowing lantern for your garden, walkway, or porch. This project provides a sustainable and decorative lighting solution without the need for an electrical outlet. Mason Jar Bathroom Organizer. This is a simple way to declutter your bathroom counter. You can use mason jars to hold items like toothbrushes, cotton swabs, makeup brushes, and hair ties. The project is highly customizable. You can paint the jars, wrap them in twine or ribbon, or keep them clear for a simple, rustic look. It's a great way to group small items and keep them tidy. Mason Jar Soap or Lotion Dispenser. This project repurposes old pump dispensers and mason jars to create a unique, reusable container. You simply drill a hole in the jar's lid and insert the pump. This is a great way to get a vintage, farmhouse-style dispenser for hand soap, lotion, or even dish soap for a more cohesive look in your kitchen or bathroom. Mason Jar Votive or Candle Holder. This idea focuses on creating decorative lighting. You place a tea light or votive candle at the bottom of a mason jar. You can decorate the outside of the jar with things like lace, glitter, or frosted glass spray to create a soft, ambient glow. To be safe, it's a good idea to use LED candles to avoid any fire hazards. Seven. Mason Jar, Gift in a Jar. This idea involves using a mason jar as a container for the dry ingredients of a recipe. The goal is to create a DIY gift that is both thoughtful and practical. How it works: you layer the dry ingredients for a recipe, like cookies, brownies, or soup, directly inside the mason jar. Examples: cookie mix. You would layer flour, sugar, baking soda, chocolate chips, and other dry ingredients. Hot cocoa kit. You could layer cocoa powder, mini marshmallows, and chocolate chips. Soup mix. You might layer lentils, dried vegetables, and spices. Key feature: A recipe tag is attached to the jar, providing instructions for how the recipient can combine the dry ingredients with any wet ingredients, like eggs or butter, to make the final product. 8. Mason jar hanging planter. This concept repurposes a mason jar into a decorative and functional planter for small plants. How it works: the mason jar is secured to a wall or another vertical surface. Method of mounting. The text suggests using a pipe clamp or a hanging hook to attach the jar to a piece of wood. What to grow? The small size of the jar makes it suitable for growing herbs, succulents, or other small plants. Benefit. This creates a space-saving and visually appealing vertical garden, which is great for kitchens or areas with limited space. A mason jar can be repurposed into a decorative and functional item for your home or garden. Here are 2 popular ways to do this: a wind chime and a tissue dispenser. Mason jar wind chimes. A wind chime made from a mason jar is a creative way to add a unique, rustic touch to your outdoor space. Instead of the typical metal tubes, this project uses a variety of hanging elements that create a gentle, melodic sound when the wind blows. How it's made: this DIY project can be done in a few different ways, but the basic concept is to hang various objects from the jar. You can use the jar itself as the main centerpiece, or you can use just the lid ring and attach the chimes to that. Materials: a mason jar, wire or strong twine, and a selection of items to hang. Hanging elements. You can get creative with what you hang from the jar. Popular choices include beads. Glass beads of different shapes and sizes can create a delicate, clinking sound and reflect sunlight beautifully. Silverware. Old spoons, forks, and other metal utensils can be attached to the jar, producing a more resonant chime. Charms or keys. Small metal charms or old keys can be used to create a gentle, tinkling sound. The beauty of this project is that you can customize it to match your style, whether you prefer a minimalist design or something more elaborate and colorful. Mason jar tissue dispenser. This is a simple and clever project that transforms a standard mason jar into a stylish and space-saving tissue holder. It's a great way to add a decorative accent to a desk, nightstand, or bathroom counter while getting rid of bulky cardboard tissue boxes. How it's made. The process is straightforward and requires minimal tools. Lid modification. The key is to create an opening in the center of the jar's lid. You can do this by cutting an X or a small circle in the metal lid insert. Or you can replace the metal insert with a piece of fabric or cardstock that has a hole cut in it. Adding tissues. Take a stack of tissues from a box and fold them to fit inside the jar. Thread the first tissue through the hole in the lid, then screw the lid onto the jar. Decorating. You can leave the jar as is for a classic look, or you can paint it, wrap it with twine, or add other embellishments to match your home's decor. This project is not only practical, but also a fun way to upcycle and personalize an